Final Four time, huh?
It's time. It's time.
Excited?
No.
You're not going
Why?
anywhere.
I'm not going. You guys are going, and you're just leaving me here to talk to the camera alone after the semifinal. Stay tuned, guys.
Maybe we'll find somebody. But I don't know. I mean, it's Abu Dhabi, plus 40. It's not Berlin. It's not Belgrade. It's going to be different. I'm not a big fan, to be honest with you,
Of the location or what?
of us being in Abu Dhabi. Mm-hmm. Because, as I've mentioned a few times, Final Four sucks in general. Then you cannot be outside because it's going to be plus 40. You won't have the same fan gathering and stuff. And I was just thinking, like, if they're going to have those lines next to the arena before the tip-off, and do you remember what happened last year? How are they going to survive that weather? Plus 40 in lines and ticketing areas. So I don't know. But it is what it is. We're going to Abu Dhabi. Cannot complain about that. And the final four teams, we're going to know. The EuroLeague champions going to be decided. And this podcast is about the Final Four predictions. We're going to pick our semifinal winners and a title winner.
Wow.
We're basically going to decide the EuroLeague Final Four winner because, you know, that's what we do here.
Exactly. And we're going to define our, let's say, knowledge and expertise in basketball. Because if we fail, we suck all time.
I think we
still
suck
suck.
anyways, do that.
Probably.
Yeah, so
Yeah. But
we're
okay.
just going to piss off three teams, players and their coaches. But,
Yep.
you know, that's
But
the
that's-
reality of
That's life.
doing this publicly. So let's go, guys. Should we start with the first semifinal?
And it's not easy thing to do it publicly because I made this EuroLeague players prediction for the Final Four where I picked one player from each non-Final Four team to predict the Final Four winners. And a
didn't
few
want to
guys
do that.
responded, if it's going to be public, I'm not going to do that. And like, I respect that.
Who are these guys?
I cannot disclose that information, but I mean, I get that because maybe they have chances to play in one of those teams and they don't want to get anyone mad or something. But like, it's not an easy thing, right?
Biberovic said that Monaco's going to win, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Biberovic said that Monaco's going to win.
He did that.
literally
And
did
they're-
that.
And he did that like
Now,
when
just
he was
recently.
aware that
Just
they're going
now.
to play in the Final Four.
Just now.
Yeah,
Come
just
on,
now.
Tarek. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with him? He
Okay.
made a prediction. Like, what's the problem? Kendrick Nunn said Paris is going to win against...
No, Tariq Biberovic,
Yes,
he is in the Final Four.
we know.
So he can make predictions?
So he says that Monaco will win the title.
No, against Olympiacos.
I think he meant
I
all
mean,
the way, to be honest.
it's okay then. I thought that Gita said that Tariq said that Monaco will win the Final Four.
I don't think so.
Okay, no. Okay, then we good. So the
should we
first
start?
semifinal, Panathinaikos, Fenerbahce.
Wow.
Simple.
What's simple?
3 letters.
Oh, okay. You're a bit more specific. What is this? Funny guy. What is this? You get nothing. What
do
does
you
that
mean,
mean?
bro?
Now you start.
What is this show?
Wow.
Champion! Wow! You came
Wow.
in prepared, bro.
Wow. This is the homework. This is the homework.
Show the title again. Show the title. My time is now.
Fenerbahce's logo is on that. Wow.
Brother, you just made Greek news all over the country.
Yeah.
And
Thanks
so-
for becoming a
yourself.
meme.
And
Thanks
so
for becoming
what?
a meme.
And so what? And so what?
Nice. Nice.
Explain yourself, man.
There's nothing to explain. I'm a human. I'm
So?
a live for myself now. And I'm a live my truth. And I won't live for these people's opinions
This
anymore.
is John Cena or who's
I don't know,
talking now?
Stephen A. Smith.
Or just our
Hey,
own
guys,
Gytis
let's-
Blaževičius.
Let's talk about it honestly. So, number one thing in this series for me is a dream that I want to be fulfilled, and that dream is a Lithuanian becoming a EuroLeague champion as a coach. And this is what I really hope for. And I hoped this whole season, and I've been more and more confident that the possibility is going up and up and up. After these playoffs, quarterfinals, that possibility in my head is the highest out of the 4 teams. The simple reasoning, and this is to do with the form of the team, to do with the matchup between these 2 teams, even though you would say, looking at the regular season performances, perhaps the other team, Panathinaikos, is the one that you should be thinking about as the favorite. But as we discussed right before the podcast, those matchups don't really say much. One of them were decided by a single shot. The other one happened in the beginning of the season. So I'm looking at it this way, that what shape the teams are in, how they looked in the quarterfinals, and what are the matchups, and who are the guys at the bench, the head coaches. And I believed in Šaras's ability to adjust in the playoff series, and I believe in Šaras's ability to finally break the curse this year. Because, first of all, Ergin Ataman is his kryptonite, historically speaking. The record is very, very towards Ergin's winning record. And yeah, I just feel like this year is the year. That's all I'm thinking.
I just think I agree with your prediction, because I also have Fener winning the semifinal. And I think they're the best team. They looked the best in the quarterfinal, and they looked the most convincing. I think they showed throughout the season that they can find defenses that can stop the opposing team, even though it might not work for 3 quarters. You know, the best example is probably like TJ Shorts and the game in Istanbul they had. I think they have all the tools to slow down Kendrick Nunn or Kostas Lukas. Although in a single elimination game, having Nunn and Slukas is a major advantage. Because if it's a series, I'm predicting more comfortably, let's say, that Fener can win against Panathinaikos. In one game, these 2 guys, you know, anytime they can be X factors, anytime they can just demolish any defense that they see in front. But I still believe Šaras is going to start with a similar defense that Anadolu Efes had against Kendrick Nunn. And we saw how uncomfortable he was for 5 games. Okay, 4 games out of 5. And at the same time, I think that Šaras has the guards, finally, and I'm speaking about Tariq, I'm speaking about Wade Baldwin, I'm speaking about Eric McCollum, that can just simply... And Marko Guduric, he's been great this season. He just has the guards that can, when the game goes wrong for him, when Pau makes a run, he just has players that can throw away the system a little bit that he's playing and just score the buckets, stop the droughts. I think that's what Fenerbahce and Šaras in general with Barcelona teams was missing. You have Wade Baldwin that is peaking in my eyes, that is getting into his best shape and the best looking Fener in this season. Eric can just score a basket when you want to, off the dribble. That's super important in single elimination games. And Fener can just have 5 different defensive coverages against Kendrick Nunn and Kostas Lukas, and one can work. So I'm betting on that, and that's why I think that Fener is going to the final. Donatas, you chose Pau. What are your arguments, and why do you pick them?
My brain said that Fener win this one because of all the reasons you mentioned. I also thought that they're better coached. They're in a better momentum. I've checked that since March, they have the best momentum among the all 4 Final Four teams. They won 9 of their last 11 games. They were convincing in the playoffs. Momentum's on their side. There's a lot of talent on that team as well. But the last 3 Final Fours shown to me that it's not about the momentum. It's not about coaching. I mean, Šaras already put his guys in the position to win the previous Final Fours, the semifinals, even the matchup against Panathinaikos. but it's more about the experience, mentality, and I would say winner mentality, and of course talent. And I still cannot trust Fenerbahce on these points because there are no, let's say, established winners on that team. Nobody of their core players won the EuroLeague before. And on the opposite end, you have 4-time EuroLeague champion Kostas Lukas. You have Kendrick Nunn. You have Cedi Osman, who had an amazing run in the playoff series, so his confidence is going to be all-time high. Juancho Hernangomez, amazing season. If Matias Lazort was on the team, I would have no doubts. Okay, I would have less doubts, let's say. And again, I'm picking Fenerbahce in the series, but since it's a single elimination game, I agree, Šaras will put his guys in a position to contain Kendrick Nunn, but it's not that much about coaching in those games. And I just believe that I just cannot see Kendrick Nunn suffering another game that would be like his 5th of the last 6 games that he played, FS including, and this one against Fenerbahce. I cannot see Slukas not playing under, let's say, the Final Four level that he is capable of doing it. When I see the matchups, I don't see clear advantage that Fenerbahce could offer. Like, for instance, with Efes, we were talking that, Vincent Poirier, they're going to try to utilize him somehow, and we saw that he made a difference. From this Fenerbahce big man lineup that they have, Paris basketball series was, okay, it was a different conversation, but still, Nelly average 3.5 points, Cam Birch 3.3 points, Jill Sambango 3 points per game, Shanli didn't even play basically. I don't see the guy who could punish them inside. And size was always Fenerbahce's advantage, but in every position you could see that there are big, tall, strong guys, Cedi Osman, Juancho Hernangomez. So, I don't know, the arguments say that I would lean on Fenerbahce pick, but there's a killer mentality of Kendrick Nunn. There's a winner's mentality that Panathinaikos have. If you see the track record, whenever they were pushed to the ropes, Game 5 against Efes, or even Game 3 in Istanbul when the series were 1-1, some other situations that they went through the last year as well, they always showed up at their highest level. So that's why I picked Panathinaikos in the semifinal.
But I would have a counter argument to your point of there is no advantages inside, for example. You say, yes, there isn't an advantage inside, but there is an advantage in playing on the perimeter for these big guys. That, for example, when Pau played Efes, there was no guy at the 5 position to attack from deep. And you have then those crazy performances from a guy like Wenny and Gabriel. Omer Yurtseven is feeling better when he doesn't need to go all the way out on the 3-point line. And then, yes, but then when you have Shanli, when you have Melli, you can play a small ball. You have more options here. Their center rotation, even though they're not elite at anything specifically, they're more diverse, I think. Look at Pau's center rotation. It's 2 very similar play style players, let's say. 2 guys who are capable of using their athleticism on defense, and on offense, they're just living off pick and rolls or getting offensive rebounds. And I feel like, yes, there's going to be... But
to me, that's fine. That's not where the game will be decided. And that's the thing. I just don't see Fenerbahce having a clear advantage that they could exploit in order to change the game, like Efes tried, let's say.
Do you think... just exploit like their power pick and roll defense. You see what happens if they play at the level, if they play at the hedge. You have past the short roll, you have options on the perimeter, and it's not like this Fener team don't have shooters. That's what I mentioned, even against Paris series. You have on the weak side, you have Tarik Biberovic making spot-up threes or driving the closeout and making tough shots. You have other guys that can really, impact the game there. So... And I think Fener is going to win the possession battle. So that's what's going to be important too. Even Šaras mentioned, in Final Fours, it's always about those loose balls, the basically plays where nobody has the basketball. So I think Fener players are more focused and willing to do that. And I think they're going to get more offensive rebounds. So, and that's how you beat Pau. Yeah, Pau have a lot of talent, but I don't know if Fener of this season don't have more talent than, and I'm speaking if we're comparing teams without Lazor. If there is no Matthias Lazor, then Fener is my pick for sure. And but I don't think he changes that much. I mean, I'm not sure if you can come back straight to the first game and the semifinal and just change the game.
I'm
That
not
would be
betting on his
crazy.
return.
Matthias Lazor of November would change a lot, but Matthias
For sure.
Lazor after this injury is a
And
bit
his
of a
first
different
game
story.
after the injury.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Again, what I've said, I agree with you. There's enough talent on Fenerbahce side to beat Panathinaikos. There's enough coaching to make the best adjustments for his guys, for Sharas guys to win that game. But again, to me, it comes to mentality and readiness to win big games. The thing with guys like, Biberovic, Nigel Hayes-Davis, Marko Guduric, there are some certain red flags that I see. For instance, Wade Baldwin, it's going to be his first Final Four game ever. I'm not sure yet what kind of Wade Baldwin we can see. He's really hyped. You already saw his quotes that May 23rd. You know, he's eager to have that matchup against Panathinaikos he didn't have basically last year. And Maccabi and Panathinaikos playoff series. Wade Baldwin against Kendrick Nunn, another huge matchup. It's going to be really fun to watch that one. But again, I'm not sure, what kind of version of Wade Baldwin we're going to witness if he's not going to try to force the game too much. I can rely on Kendrick Nunn. We saw what he's capable of doing. Tarik Biberovic, amazing season. Great player. He was the top scorer of Fenerbahce in the playoffs. I think he's the NBA material, but he's really young.
But you can rely on Kendrick Nunn when he's comfortable. Look what Efes did to Kendrick Nunn. And do you think a guy like Šarūnas Jasikevičius won't put the same conditions or even worse conditions for him?
But it's freaking Kendrick Nunn.
It is.
He will find
I
ways.
understand. And I agree that
he was in the same position last year in the semifinals. And again, I mentioned some of those red flags. Unfortunately, Sharas has a, let's say, track record. You might call it a curse of guys becoming chokers. Like last year, Scottie Wilbekin. 2 points in the semis. He was the top scorer of Fenerbahce in the playoffs. 2 points in the semis, 1 of 10 shooting. 2 years ago, Nikola Mirotic. It was probably MVP caliber Mirotic. 2 points, again, 1 of 10 shooting in the semis against Real Madrid. So if one of those guys that we're relying on gonna, suffer this Final Four experience, Wade Baldwin, Tarik Biberovic, Nigel Hayes-Davis or whatever, that might be huge for Fenerbahce.
Yeah, but I just think that this season, these guys that you just mentioned, they are better. Hayes-Davis is better. There's Wade Baldwin. He's, I think, peaking. He's not peaking into his top shape, but he's just aligning to the team more lately. And I like what I'm seeing from him. You have Eric that can just put the ball into the basket. When Pau makes a run, Fener has more guys that can just simply throw away the system and I'm just scoring the basketball. Wade, Marco, Tariq, Nigel. Eric, you just have more guys that I can trust. I'm willing to trust, for those guys to stop the bleeding and to stop Pau's runs that are sometimes super deadly.
And to be honest, if Fener wins this one, I think that they're gonna win the title as well. And again, I was putting those arguments to go for Fenerbahce in the semis, but I just thought about this mentality thing. I think in the Final Four it's huge, and yeah, that's why I picked Pana.
Today's episode is sponsored by hoopandcourt.com, a website that helps you bring a professional level basketball setup to your own space. Whether you're a club, academy, or just a serious fan who wants to shoot around at home. They offer full court solutions, quality surfaces like the ones used in the Olympics, durable hoops from top US brands, and even advanced training equipment like shooting machines. Everything you need to turn a space into a real basketball environment. So if you're thinking about building a court, whether that's inside or outside, check out hoopandcourt.com since they got you covered.
Let's go to the
Second
semifinal. Olympiacos Monaco, guys. Mm-hmm. Is this an easy pick?
Easy pick.
Nothing is easy. But I'm predicting a Greek final and creating a civil war in Athens. I like how specific Augustus is. He's also giving not just only a prediction,
random numbers,
but putting some numbers. Okay.
Everybody's
biased
trusting
media.
Olympiacos.
Biased media.
I mean, look what I have here. So
That's true, but you see what can happen sometimes with the t-shirts you come with, and then you leave with a completely different one.
I'm staying with this one. By the way, if you want to buy these, where you can find them?
Shop.basketnews.com.
We have some
Check
great
out the
ones,
new merch.
some new collection, and also some old stuff that I really like.
So you had this.
This is happening. This is happening
Wow.
today.
Okay.
Should we start with what chance does Monaco have, or should we start with why Olympiacos is gonna win this?
I actually think that Monaco has a legit chance to win the semis, and the main reason behind that to me is Daniel Tajes. The problem is that Daniel Tajes is not the same Daniel Tajes that was when he just joined his team. I've checked the stats, and he had some amazing impact when he just joined the team, and when he played between round 27 and 33. His net rating in Monaco was almost plus 11 when he was on the floor per 100 possessions, according to Bibalytics. That was huge. But what happened after the game 1 in Barcelona series is something hard to explain. He had this amazing 22-point performance, I think. Monaco was dominating. But since game 2, he had the worst plus and minus on his team in those 5 game series, 4 games including. I heard that it might be related to some health issues, leg to be more specific. So he might feel uncomfortable with that. And even in game 5, he barely played. He played 10 minutes, and basically Georgos Papagiannis decided the series and the game.
Saved the day.
Exactly. And I think that he would be really useful for them in those matchups against Fall and Mlutinov, offensively and defensively. Of course, he adds a lot. But if he's still uncomfortable, if there are some physical reasons that holds him back, I think that's just too much for Monaco to afford and having some hopes to beat Olympiacos. So I cannot rely on Tajes' recent shape and his health. I think that, just in general, Olympiacos is an amazing team. I think that Monaco is great and better than they were 2 years ago, because if you remember that game, it was this historical 27-2 run in the third quarter in general, 27-2. And I think that Monaco improved because now Alpha Diallo is the guy, Jerome Blossingham, who didn't even play that game. Now he was the X factor of Barcelona series, a glue guy. Matthew Strzel became a really solid rotation guy. He didn't play against Olympiacos 2 years ago. But Olympiacos, they're also great. Bezenkov kind of exceeded his MVP season.
Just one thing with Monaco you didn't mention, and Mike was a bit better than he is right now. Like you said, the guys that have improved, and you should also say...
I'm not sure. I think that Mike stepped up as a leader and a guy who creates more for others. I think that he learned through those seasons how to make others better, a little bit better doing that. So I don't know.
I think he's okay.
I don't see a significant decrease, that's for sure. I think he's staying at the same really high level. But again, this is Olympiacos, so I think that they're really good and too big of a challenge for Monaco.
I think they're just too good for Monaco, really. Monaco did not convince me in that quarterfinal series. They barely beat Barcelona with Kevin Punter, Jabari, and Jan Vesely was not even playing. La Providla was not there. And, you have guys like Brizuela, Para, Abrines, playing great basketball. But this is a different beast. This is a Olympiacos that just beat them, actually, in Monaco. I know it's a regular season game. But listen to this. Olympiacos made 4 of 20 3-pointers only. They missed 14 free throws. And they lost only by 3 points. In Piraeus. So, and they didn't have Walkup, Milutinov, and I think a lot of Sasha Vezenkov and Peters were playing together at the center position. So that's not how it's going to be in the Final Four. That was their bad stretch. And I don't know. To me, it's just, if Olympiacos has another night where they can't make a basket because of the pressure they have, because I think they are feeling the most pressure in this Final Four, then maybe something happened. But at the same time, you have, Thomas Walkup will do his part. Nigel Williams-Goss will do his part, playing defensively and leading the team. You have Fournier now that can just give you a basket whenever you want. You still have Vezenkov that will find those 15 to 20 points in fast break offensive rebounds, slip screens, or whatever. You have Milutinov that can just go over the people and grab those biggest guy. Free offensive rebounds because Theis, okay, now I found out that he was struggling with his leg, but he was a little bit also struggling, I thought, because of the Barcelona size that they had. He's not like super, super tall center.
He had problems with fouls and stuff, so... And
I
the foul in Milutinov is not going to be easy.
Looking at how Monaco's shape, they were not convincing in the quarterfinals and not convincing before the last couple of months. Not that convincing. Seeing the team that they have in front, seeing that system that they play, how gritty they play Olympiacos on defense, I just think they will find one run that Monaco can't really match, similarly to what happened 2 years ago in Kaunas.
My main aspect that I'm looking at in this matchup, since I was watching very intensely those two quarterfinals between the other two teams, right? I saw both teams being not convincing, and the main problem was they weren't able to make shots. So if you look at the 3-point percentages in the playoffs, Monaco shot 36%, Olympiacos shot only 29%. When things go wrong, when you can't get into the paint and attack through there because they're shrinking the floor, and you cannot make the shots, that's where problems start. In this series against Olympiacos, when they played Real, their main guy that you would rely on to make the three-pointers, Evan Fournier, shot only 17%. That's the thing. I don't expect him, like you don't expect Kendrick Nunn in the other matchup to be contained as much. I don't expect Evan Fournier to shoot only 17%. I don't expect even, for example, Sasha Vezenkov shooting 33% is not his standard, I think. And a lot of guys, especially Thomas Walkup, you said his defensive things that he'll do. He's just came back from the injury, and maybe a month or so now since he came back, maybe he'll be a little bit better. And those things will add up, I think. Because on both sides, it's always, there's a shot created, but can you make it? On Monaco's side, even more so, because Mike has the ball most of the time. Either Mike or Eli are the guys facilitating the offense. And when an wide open in the corner, Jerome Blossom game, is he going to make that shot or not? He shot 11% in the playoffs from three. So this is what it will come down to. Those 3-pointers, it's one game, I understand, but I just think Olympiacos will step up a bit more.
Okay, let's say we have those finals that we predict. Who are you going to pick as a winner of the Final Four?
I'm going with Fenerbahce all the way.
Okay. We saw your introduction, so I guess it's quite clear. And again, if Fener wins against Pana, I also see them going all the way.
And don't do that.
But since I have Panathinaikos...
You are predicting the Greek final.
Don't worry. But since I have Panathinaikos and Olympiacos, I think Olympiacos will win it because Pa won the last year. And I think that Olympiacos winning the Final Four will be just fair to basketball in general because of the roster continuity that they had, team-oriented basketball and the system that they had, and consistency, being at a top-level team. So I think that this has to be rewarded with the title. But you're picking Olympiacos.
Basketball is not fair usually, so...
It will come down who's going to play 8 against 5. Is it going to be one team or the other? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The 3 guys in the orange jerseys are going to be the key factor.
Why the 3 guys here are not the refs that are going to be in the Final Four?
That would be such a fun podcast to listen to. They should predict. That would be... Wow.
For how much money they would do that, I'm wondering.
Have fun,
Who's
guys.
the MVP? What do you think? It really depends on the...
Have fun, guys.
Anyways.
Enjoy the Final Four.
And, guys, if you see us lurking around in Abu Dhabi, we got some special, gifts for you, I guess, from Lithuania. If
it fits our cabin bag policy.
But if you approach us, we want to do some content with you guys. If you approach us, if you answer some questions, and if you're not the last one to do it, you have a chance to get whatever team you support jersey, t-shirt, I guess it's called. Yeah. So do that, be brave, and come to us and tell us how we suck.
Don't worry.
They'll do it anyways.
They are good at that.
They'll do it anyways. So yeah.